Hey guys, if you really like this episode, please support our podcast by going to talkmurder.com/join and becoming a Talko Supremo.
Tonight, on this episode of Talk Murder to Me, we head across the pond for a senseless and brutal killing. Yes, officer?
License and registration, please.
What's the problem here?
Well, you're going too slow. Sunday driver, it's only Saturday.
Let me just ask one thing. So you said your name was...
Oh, the full name is Traxler Willard Littlejohn.
They never told me your full name, so we just been calling you the Gin Guy.
The Gin Guy.
But that's not...
What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be called?
Well,
what do we call you?
Man, there's so many variations on Traxler. It's not even funny. I had long hair, so you can see I'm bald now. I actually had long hair about like halfway down my back. My friends called me Traxel Rose, you know. So
Yes.
I was like, that's a great rocker name. Looks like a biker, but now it's just a Trax or Traxler. But the Gin Guy, I've been called that at Pugin Sports a couple times. Like, there's the Gin Guy. It's like, I would be the Gin Guy, but now that I'm coming out with other products, it's like, well, shit.
Yeah. Your gin is amazing, by the way.
So tonight, welcome to Talk Murder to Me. We have a very special guest with us, sipping some amazing cocktails. We have Traxler Littlejohn.
Yep.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did. Good job. Yes. I mean, very few get it right the first time.
And Traxler is the owner of Nipatati. Did I say that right?
Yep, you did.
Nipatati Distillery here in Charleston, South Carolina. And do you use the word brew?
No, we distill.
Distill. That makes sense. It's, distillery. Right. The most amazing, truly, I don't lie. I don't exaggerate. The best alcohol I've ever tasted. I've never been able to have a swig of straight alcohol. And we do surprise shots on this show and not want to cough it up or struggle swallowing it. Man, we drink that whole thing from the bottle.
Yes, we did.
I mean, look at our drinks now. I never drink this much before we even get started.
I know. I think we're all down to half a tank now. It's like we made these, 10 minutes ago?
Yeah,
and
not
now
even.
It's just
not saying that y'all
down.
don't know how to mix things good. But
but it's all about the quality of the booze.
it is. I think it really is. It's amazing. It's very smooth.
It was delicious.
It
So
can get
tell
you in
us
trouble.
about yourself, your distillery.
Let's see. I've been in Charleston for about 10 years. I was an HR director for 13 years, and I always say lost part of my soul with that one. It was never a happy point in my life. And
I so feel that.
Yeah, it was like one day, when you're sitting in your car and you don't want to go into work and you get into your office and you want to cry underneath your desk, you realize a change has to be made. And so I've brewed beer for 6 years, and I wanted to get into liquor because beer and I never get along from a waistline standpoint. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, here's the thing. Liquor, when it comes to vodka and gin, 0 carbs, 0 sugars if you mix it with just soda.
Amazing.
I mean, hate to break it to anyone's heart, vodka and gin are exactly the same thing, except gin has the addition of one thing. Juniper. That is what legally,
I didn't know that
legally
either.
makes it gin.
Yeah.
Gin is vodka.
I had no idea.
That has a juniper berry. That's it. It's called a neutral spirit with the addition of juniper. Vodka is a neutral spirit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Shit.
Everyone's like, this vodka is gluten-free. No, most liquors are gluten-free unless they add something at the end. So I decided to get into making liquor. And the thing about gin is you can control the flavor profile from the very beginning. Meaning, like beer. Beer, you can have stouts all the way to IPAs. Gin, you can say, I want it to have this type of nose, this body, and this finish. You can mix all your botanicals, distill it 2 days later, taste it, and you know where it's at, and you can make changes. Whereas bourbon, rum, tequila, even wine, you have this unknown element of aging that you're like, okay, I'm just going to let this shit sit here for a minute and wait. And we're going, wait. We have an idea of what it's going to be like. We know it's going to be good, but we don't know the final product. Whereas gin, you can dial that puppy in from the very beginning.
That's crazy.
And make it the way you want.
Is it? And so that's the only
You
one.
can tell.
Even vodka, you can't do that.
No, you can do
You
that
with
you
vodka.
can do that with flavored vodka.
Okay,
you can,
gotcha.
Start off with the vodka and then add all the ingredients or all the flavors you want to at the end and get your flavors from there. It doesn't require any aging, but most other stuff requires this unknown element.
Yeah. Man,
Wow.
that's so
you
interesting.
can tell.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I mean, I don't know if you guys feel differently about drinking booze straight out of a bottle, but that's definitely the only booze
That's what
that
we
I was
did
like,
with
pass
yours.
that back, man.
Yeah, as soon as I grabbed that bottle, I was like, oh, man, like, this is going to be rough. You know, I'm just taking this for the tour just to have fun. And then I was like, damn, this is so smooth.
I never have to DD home.
I was
You
like-
always do. And
Wait, you drove home?
and that goes to show just how much Jen had of
No,
that
we
bottle.
actually went to the pizza place.
No, I know
first.
we went to the. Oh, okay. Nicole drove from the pizza
But
place.
anyway,
No,
it's
I drove the entire way
fantastic
home.
product.
Oh,
Fantastic.
shit. I'm gonna change it up tonight.
Oh.
Okay.
Not a surprise shot, not a surprise shot, but it's awesome gin, so we're drinking it tonight.
What the fuck?
This is the Nipatati gin, the organic gin from Nipatati Distillery. Ooh, yeah, so good.
I didn't even flinch.
And cinnamon comes 1 to 2 seconds at the very end.
It
Oh,
does.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Do these guys look English to you?
Yes.
They look like FBI agents to me, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's really close because they're
M5.
CIA? Interpol.
no.
That's a BMW. Are they? Are these guys?
Double
They're
O's?
not Beamer owners.
What am I thinking of?
Double O's.
You're thinking MI5
Yeah.
and MI6, but you said M5. I was like, that's like a high end.
Yeah.
I mean BMW.
M5 is BMW.
Please forgive me.
What year do you think these pictures were taken?
1955.
Yeah, probably pretty close.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'll
early
say
60s.
All right, so tonight, you know, I was trying to, because I didn't really know who you were, you know, because they don't tell me shit here.
Okay, stop saying
No.
they because I didn't know either.
There is a website, and there's a whole 2-minute video of me on the website.
Where you talking about human resources, and I was like, damn.
Like, that poor
This.
asshole.
They don't tell me
Yes,
shit.
I get it.
Anyway,
Stop saying they. I don't know anything. I'm literally
Also,
the last person to find anything
Here-
out.
No. False. We tell John everything. He just chooses not to listen.
from what I found, and I'm not sure this is true, but Jen is actually from Holland, but we think the most people that drink it obviously is, you know, the Brits.
Yeah, from Holland, it's called a Genevieve, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's mostly known in you know, the UK. Yeah.
Well, Sapphire has the Queen's image on it, and also I don't know which Queen. I don't remember. And then Beefeater has the guard on it.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, so I wanted to go there tonight, but I was like really struggling to find a good story, and I found this one, and this was actually, if you're over there, you know this story. It was huge. These three men are CID agents. So we're going tonight to August 12th, 1966.
Oh, that's a day before my birthday, but also 30 plus years.
Now, tell me if you've heard
No,
of this.
20 plus
You
years.
most likely haven't, because I haven't heard of this, and I know a lot about murder, trust me. The Shepards Bush Murders. Anybody?
No.
No.
Okay, that's what we're talking about tonight. So from right to left, you got Christopher Head. Now, he is a cop through and through, his family and all that stuff. He joined the police force there in 1958, and he joined the CID program. He's very popular and well-liked. All these guys are CID. He was in the passenger side of this car, and I'm going to show you pictures in a second. Okay, in the back seat was Detective Constable Wamwell. He's the second one there. He's 25 years old. He's got a wife, 2 young children, 3-year-old and an 18-month. Very smart, very ambitious, and multiple papers described him as a rising star in the community. The driver right here, he's obviously the oldest guy. He's got that receding hairline. No offense.
No, sorry. I gave up on that battle a long time ago. I just have the shaved head.
You know who else he kind of looks like,
I would do that too.
but not?
Oh, yeah.
What, were you
John-
losing the hair? Or?
I had to change my profile in my wife's
Yeah.
pictures so many times. She's like, babe, retake, because you could see all the patchiness.
So the driver, that's Jeffrey Fox. He's the 41-year-old, 3 children, Royal Navy. He actually joined the police force in 1950. Now, he was the driver, and I'm going to get into the car they were driving because from my research with this, this gin's getting to me.
It's so good.
I blame the absinthe. It's not the gin.
Whoa. From my research into the car, that car specifically, it was a Triumph. you could only be an experienced driver to drive this car, okay? So he was the permanent driver because he had all this high-tech experience, driving courses, all this stuff. August 12th, 1966. This is 3:15 p.m. Now, we're in West London. These three guys, these cops you see right here, were all in this same car. Now, they were doing their routine drive around, and we'll talk about what cops did in this part of London back then. Because I want to say no cops, even today, I found an article from like Yahoo News that said 90% of cops, even today, don't carry guns. Even today. Exactly. So these guys are not armed at all.
It just seems wrong.
Well,
You know?
we can go down that avenue if you want to.
90% of cops, like, across the world? Or
No,
in
no, no.
Britain?
I'm sorry.
In England.
Britain.
In Britain, yeah.
Okay,
They
I
have
was
a-
like,
they have
I'm pretty
they have
sure
a-
Different
every
gun
cop
laws.
I've ever seen
they have
here has a
special
gun.
armed response units. So most cops have batons, tasers.
Yeah.
I could see that
Yeah.
having spent some time in
Well,
Europe.
it's hard to
It's
see
a little
it
bit
here,
different.
you know, especially in that time over there, none of the citizens had guns. Over in America,
Everybody's
literally
got a
everyone
gun.
has a gun. So the cops have to like match that, you know what I'm saying?
sense.
This is at 3:15. It's a really quiet area. It's right by a prison, but it's also like a residential place. Very quiet, serene. You know that Britain, everyone's like walking around drinking tea, you know, saying good day or whatever.
Yeah. Tea and crumpets. That whole
Bangers and
shit.
mash.
The good stuff.
Yeah, so these CID agents, their entire job was to drive around and kind of look for stuff that didn't fit in to the scenery, basically criminals, petty crime, all this stuff. They pulled over this car that was a standard Vanguard van, which I'm going to show you because I had to look it up. Pretty cool looking car. They pulled over this suspicious looking Vanguard van in the middle of this residential street. Back then, especially in London, they would pull up to you and just roll down the window and kind of like wave you over. It's like, get over, because you knew that they were the police. And these guys weren't wearing police badges or whatever. I mean, you see them right here. They're wearing suits. You know, these were the undercover CID, but everyone knew they were police. So they're driving down Braybrook Street. Now, keep in mind, this is London. Everyone's drinking tea. There's like a river over there for some reason and like ducks.
The
Thames.
Yeah. the
The
We're going to
Thames.
help out the Thames.
The Thames.
Okay, whatever.
Thames.
It's not
All right,
Thames.
all right, Bobby. It's Thames.
It's Thames.
T-I-M. Tim.
Yeah.
So the prison they're near is Wormwood Scrubs. Now, that's not really important, but kind of, because there's been a lot of break-ins recently at this particular prison. So this weird car with these three kind of sketchy characters in it are driving down this residential neighborhood. They are near this prison. Obviously, they're probably here for a breakout. You know,
Gotcha.
someone's going to break out. They're going to jump the wall. They're going to jump in this little, standard van these guys have, this Triumph van. And not only that, but they didn't have the right license registration. And not only that, they had the exhaust pipe. It was wired up to the car, which is like really weird why they would do that. Anyway, these CID officers, they decided to stop them. The guy on the left you're looking at, and you go to talkmurder.com to see the pictures, is the driver, Jeffrey Fox. He's 41, like I said. And
The one with the eyebrow raise.
the John Hamm.
Yeah.
He is very attuned to faces around the area. He's been in the force for now going on 15 years, and he knows all the local criminals. He knows all the wannabe gangsters and everything else. He knows everything, but he didn't know the people in this particular car. So he decides to stop this car. Let me really quick, before I go any further, just reinforce the police state, if you will, in the 60s in Britain. No police radios except in their cars, and that was only very few of them had radios. They had these things called police boxes. You know, and by Beard Cats, that
Yeah.
Police station, they have a
Yes,
police
yes.
box.
The nicest ass police station ever.
So it's like basically a telephone with a light on it. No guns, no handcuffs, even
They
today.
just wave these people over.
We got this like old car. They go to the right of them and roll down the window, because their wheels on the left or the right. The wheels on the right. So they wave them over, and the CID officers that you're seeing on the screen, they pull in front of them about maybe 15 meters, kind of blocking them so they can't speed off diagonal.
I like that you used the metric system because we're covering a British case, but in America, you're going to have to do the math.
People were like, what the fuck is a
I
meter?
deal with that on a daily basis.
It was a standard pullover. The only tools they had was a whistle and what they call a truncheon, which is basically a small baton. This car is obviously doing something sketchy. They're parked really close to the prison. The youngest guy that was in the back, his name was Detective Constable Wombwell. Womb and then well. Wombwell. Detective Constable Wombwell, 25 years old. So if you think about it, the young guy, 25 years old, they're like, yeah, you go check this out. He's sitting in the back. He's like, yeah, you're the young gun, up and coming. You go deal with this, get their license and insurance and all that stuff. So he did. He goes up to the car and he asks for the license and insurance. Now, the driver, which I'm going to get to because there's 3 in the car. You have a driver, a passenger next to him, and someone in the back seat. The driver pulls out the insurance and it actually ran out, expired that day. But that's not really a big problem. The big problem is they have a bunch of stolen license plates in the back of the car.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
That's an indicator.
Okay, so let me...
Something's wrong here.
Exactly. Let me quickly go over who is in the other car.
You mean bodies?
What's that?
Bodies?
Bodies?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
dead bodies.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
no.
waiting for the murder. I came here strictly for murder.
He was
gin.
told there would be
And gin. No, I
blood.
brought the gin. I mean, I came here for good company, which I have.
He came for the murder.
Well, thank you.
Murder's
Yeah.
what we're waiting on.
The penis straws.
Okay, I know,
Penis
everyone's-
straws in a murder van.
Everyone waits on the murder. You have John Whitney. I'm going to show you pictures of these guys in a little bit. He is a driver. He's 36. You have John Duddy, which when I was typing this up, it kept doing daddy. And I'm like, fucking shit, spell checker.
This is when I get really concerned when he does things on my computer or my work
Yeah.
computer. I'm like, shit, this is going to look really
It like
bad at work.
accidentally
Yep.
sends it
Do
to
not
someone.
send that
Hey,
email.
Daddy.
Do not send that email.
So John Duddy, he was in the back seat. And then the passenger of the car, Harry Roberts, keep that name in mind. Jen, what was that name?
Harry
Harry
Roberts.
Roberts.
Harry Roberts.
I'm Jen. You're Nicole.
I was just saying it just in case.
Oh, he asked me. It's okay. I
The
forgive you.
detective constable goes up to the car and he basically, he's a young gun. He doesn't really know what's going on. So he's like, I need your license and your insurance, please. John Whitney, the driver, pulls it out. Wombwell is looking at his, all this stuff and is like, this doesn't really match up. And the car doesn't actually match the insurance policy, all this stuff. So
of a
exactly.
problem.
Yeah, you see, if it's one day expired, he could let that slide. But if it's the
Yeah.
wrong fucking car, that's kind of a big thing. Well, you should be driving a 1984 Ford panel van, sir.
Well, the car was
However,
That van.
this is an M5.
the car was actually stolen, and in the back seat, they had a bunch of license plate because they were at the time going to steal other cars. Inside the car, you have in the trunk a lot of license plates because they're gangsters. These are all 3 gangsters, which I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the pictures in a minute. All 3 of these guys are gangsters. Now, they're all petty criminals. They're going to steal a car. There's also an quote from The Guardian of that time, an extraordinary cache of weapons. And in that time,
In that time in England, weapons?
exactly.
Yeah, no.
Ain't
No,
a thing.
exactly. No. For instance,
Kind of like
the-
different when you think about like Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
They could
Exactly.
access them
But
like Al Capone
more
over
easily.
there, in fact, the weapons used in this particular story were not regular go to the gun store and buy them. They were actually souvenir weapons used in the war. The
So
Second
it'd be like
World
someone
War.
walk around the U.S. shopping mall with a rocket launcher. It's like, no one has ever seen that shit.
Yeah, like a
no
old,
one's ever seen this
Exactly.
ever in England.
Right.
They're just like,
Exactly.
whoa.
So
Okay.
they have a huge canvas bag filled of these things.
And license plates.
And license plates.
Okay.
And in the middle of the driver and the passenger, they have a canvas bag of more weapons. They're up to no good.
Something is up.
Exactly.
And the car didn't give it away at all. I mean, looking at that car is no way gangster in any way. No.
Yeah. The window of the driver's side is down and he's trying to explain his insurance. In the passenger seat, the guy, Harry Roberts, which is the main character of this story, was getting really anxious. And in fact, he once served in the Army. He actually just got out not too long ago. But if you go into his past a little bit, he grew up with the gangsters. And he doesn't like how this situation's going, especially since the cop is starting to ask questions about the trunk, what's in the trunk kind of thing. He doesn't like where this is going at all. Harry Roberts, as I'll get to later, his new job description, his occupation on LinkedIn and stuff like that, is bank robber. That is his occupation.
Badass, man.
Now, there was a canvas bag, like I said, beside them. It was open a little bit, where you could stick your hand in there if you need to
Full
or whatever.
of weapons or full of cash money?
Not weapons like rifles, but pistols. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, it was weapons and license plates and in the trunk.
And fleshlights. And like a lot of fleshlights.
What do you need with all those weapons, though?
Flashlight.
Yeah, flashlights.
Fleshlights.
As long as you have flashlights, you're good.
Fleshlights.
Flashlights. Penis straws.
They were stopped by a police Q car containing Detective Sergeant Head, Detective Constable Wombwell, and Police Constable Fox. The sergeant and the detective constables started questioning the men in it. Suddenly, the man Roberts in the front passenger seat pulled out a Luger pistol and he shot Detective Constable Wombwell through the open window of the van. The detective constable died at once of a bullet through his head. That's sad.
Okay.
Well done.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, that was beautifully done,
Thank
Jen.
you. Thank you
She
very
really
much.
tries with
That's
her.
No, I mean, I'll
It's one of my
well,
secret talents.
It wasn't Liverpool. It was more Londonish, but I liked it.
A little bit of Cockney, but not too much.
Jen's,
Not too much Cockney.
Okay.
Our
Jen-
accent
Jen's
expert.
gonna bypass us all and do stand-up someday.
Yeah. Okay, so
We
let me
can
put
make
this
that
in
work.
context for you. This constable, 25 years old, he's new on the force. He's just, think about a cop trying to check your license dates for the insurance. Is this expired? All of a sudden, the guy in the passenger seat, who you didn't know before this, was extremely violent, says, fuck it. He basically takes his right arm, because he's on the left, remember? Because they
Yep.
drive differently for some
Right.
reason. Takes his right arm, pulls out a 9mm Luger, like an old Hitler Luger, because it's a souvenir. He pulls out, this is quick. I'm talking about like sharpshooter, Wild Wild West type of shit. He pulls it out and he says, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Boom! And he shoots him, and it's so close range because his arm is going over the driver, right in front of the driver's face. So, probably about a good foot away, and it goes right through his left eye. He's dead. He's checking an insurance policy date, and all of a sudden, lights out, dead.
There's no computers. He's just sitting there
Exactly.
trying to compare and contrast. Look at the make of the car, gangster car.
Yeah.
Gangster insurance, gangster car, gangster insurance. Bam.
All of a sudden, it was quick.
Done.
Now, you killed a Bobby, a cop, police.
You killed a Bobby with two other Bobbies.
Exactly.
Oh, shit. So
Now-
what happened then?
Now, this whole story, okay,
But they don't have guns.
I'm gonna break this story down. You're gonna be like, wow, this took forever, an hour, this whole incident. Less than 30 seconds. This was quick. Harry Roberts, he was a maniac. He just took the gun out, fuck off, shot him right in the eye.
All right, so let's go. So,
Yeah, the
guy
post,
shot.
yeah, like in the left eye. The post-mortem exam, Dr. Donald Terry, I don't know his real name, Terry, said that the cause of death was a laceration to the brain due to a bullet wound. Basically, it ripped his brain open.
Oh, shit.
Okay, now at the same time, you have Detective Sergeant Head, the second guy in the middle that you guys saw a minute ago. He was actually on the way to the car because he's like, before the shooting, this young gun, I just told his asshole to go check the insurance. What's he doing over there? He's probably doesn't know where he's at. So he gets out of the car because he's the second, youngest or whatever. He goes over for assistance. And right about the time he gets to the other side of the car, because you know how police go to separate sides of the
Yep.
car, that's when the shooting happens. And it's real quick. I'm talking about this guy just all of a sudden just pulls out this Luger and says, fuck off, and shoots him right in the eye. Boom.
Ooh.
Now this officer, the other one that's not dead because the other guy died instantly, he is like, what the fuck? And in fact, he turns around away from the violence and looks at the driver, the other CID officer Fox, and he says, "No, no, no." And that's exactly what he said. That's quoted from witnesses. At the same time, that same maniac that shot the guy in the eye gets out and shoots him, bow, right in the back. So the shock of the murder was so just like it wasn't real. This detective, Sergeant Head, actually turned away from the violence, which is crazy if you think about it. Like, it's like not real, not
like
real.
instead of saying no, 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 it was like, nope, not today.
What?
It's like he can't believe it's happening, or he's saying,
Exactly.
no, I don't have a fucking gun.
Exactly. But he wasn't, the thing
Yeah.
was he wasn't running back to the car.
No,
he was just like,
it was in shock. It's
Exactly,
like,
shock,
It's like
there you go.
fight or flight or freeze. And so he
Exactly.
might have frozen, and frozen seeing his friend being shot. No, no, no. Then bam,
Exactly.
he gets shot by a dude coming
Yeah.
out of the car shooting his ass.
yeah.
And then what happens?
It's like all within 30 seconds. So you're talking about like right now we're at like 7 seconds.
Okay.
He gets shot in the back. Now that actually punctured his lung, but it wasn't fatal. He was the last one to die. All 3 of these officers are going to die today.
Oh.
He's the last one. He gets shot, lung punctured, falls on the ground. And do you remember how I said those weapons that they were using were antiques?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Harry Roberts, the main guy of this episode, he gets out and he walks up to the crawling now, shot in the back, punctured lung, Detective Sergeant Head, and he puts the barrel right up to his head. He's going to finish the job. Pulls the trigger, click, nothing. Because it's an antique, the cartridge is actually stuck. Okay, I know I'm building your anxiety. You're getting
You're killing me, Smalls.
Are you at the gym joint?
Yeah.
And the what?
Yep.
I just thought of that.
And now.
And now, so what does he do? The constable actually starts crawling away towards the car. Now, remember, because the whole time I was researching the story, I'm like, why didn't the driver just take off?
Yeah.
But you got to imagine this was all so fast. No one knew what was going on.
You
It's
wanna
under
go
30
help your-
seconds.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this constable, the one that was shot, is, dragging himself towards the car with all his might. Harry Roberts, the guy, the killer, grabs his 2 legs and tries to pull him back. And the constable actually jerks his right leg out and kicks him right in the face. And it busts open his jaw and everything, just blood squirting everywhere. So he gets pissed off. He takes that Luger, reloads the cartridge, puts it right back to his head, click. Again, nothing. So he is basically going to live from what you would think. Okay. All right. So the driver, at this point, he actually puts the car in reverse because Harry Roberts got out to shoot the second guy. So he is
would run.
behind the car. So the Detective Fox, remember, he's older, experienced driver, of that car. He puts in reverse, is like, what the fuck's going on? Remember, this is all under 30 seconds. He tries to back up and run over Harry Roberts.
I knew it. I was like,
Boom, 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 boom.
When he said he was going to throw in reverse, I knew it was like so fast. He was going to run over somebody.
Yep.
He ran over his
nailed it.
boy.
He didn't. No, what?
No, he ran over the robber.
His boy, the other cop, was to the side of the car, so he was horizontal to the car because he crawled up trying to get to the car.
So him crawling saved
Wait,
his ass.
I'm sorry. He was parallel or perpendicular?
Or what? No, all right. So the cop car.
Parallel. If he's even with the car, so the car basically.
Well, he said
here
he's horizontal
here he
with the
is.
car.
The car backs up. Here he is. You go, whoop,
Yeah,
right
that's
next
what
to
I
him,
thought.
right?
Yeah,
I just
so they're
wanted to
right
make
next
sure.
to it.
He's looking at a tire saying, thank God I'm just shot in the lung, not running.
Well, no. Before he backed up, he was level to them. They were right in the same place, parallel to each other, right next to each other because he was crawling towards the car.
Yeah.
Then he decides to back up to give the other guy cover and to hit the guy if he can.
Yeah.
The detective that was shot in the lung actually crawls in front of the car at this point.
Oh, no.
So now at this point in time, let me break down the scene for you. You have the first cop, he's been dead, shot in the eye.
Yeah.
You have Harry Roberts, the main character, the gangster. He's out trying to shoot this one cop, and it keeps getting stuck. Okay. The other
that's
car
awkward.
with the Detective Fox, he backs up. That gives enough time for the detective shot in the lungs to crawl in front of the front of the car. Now, Duddy. Remember I
Duddy.
said daddy?
Oh yeah,
Big
shit.
Duddy.
Yeah,
Big Duddy.
Duddy.
Well, actually, like,
Was
young.
he the criminal or the cop?
Okay, so these three criminals that I can show you a picture in a minute. They are all petty criminals. Duddy and the other, I forgot his name right at the top of my head, I'm drunk. But the other guy, petty criminals. But Harry Roberts, he is a very violent bank robber. Very violent. And in fact, there's a lot of people robbing banks in Britain, like everywhere.
sense. Yeah.
But he was one of the only ones to use a gun. Because remember, I said no one had guns. And in fact, the guns he was using were souvenirs. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
I just baffled. It's like
You have a big ass knife. Like,
Maybe a
what
machete.
What do you got?
I have a big fucking stick.
Yeah.
This is actually
A samurai.
cricket. This is a cricket
Yes.
stick. I want all the pounds.
All the pounds. Give me all your pounds. That's what I'm saying. The gun thing's really important.
Yeah.
But Duddy gets out and he pulls he grabs his hand into that canvas bag in front that was in the center console. Grabs a 38, which is a smaller caliber than a 9mm.
38 special.
A 38.
Close enough.
Yeah.
It's probably got a longer barrel, but it's going to do some damage. Jen, yeah.
I don't know anything about guns.
I
I
little
just
Bobby hat. I'm just like trying to relate the gun talk,
oh
Harry Roberts, click, click, trying to reload it, click, click, looks back, and he looks at Duddy. He's like, get the fuck out and come help me. Come fucking help me. So Duddy, being the young, impressionable gangster that he is, grabs that 38 and runs up, and instead of shooting the crawling police officer, he takes a shot at the driver. Now, he misses 3 times, and it hits the wind. I don't know why I did that. I'm like,
3
I
times.
watched your version of 3 times.
He was
He
like
shows
3
me
times.
4 fingers in one hand, 3 in the other. That shit is 7. That's a prime number.
That's a strong ass
It's a
jig.
prime number.
he shot 3 times. It broke out the side windows and the back windows. Now, at this point, Detective Fox is getting shot at. He actually puts it in drive. And because everyone's dead beside
Hey,
him.
look what we did, guys.
And we drank a whole bottle.
He's got to
Amongst
get the fuck out and
us.
dodge.
Ooh.
He puts it in drive. Now, that one last bullet from Duddy. Now, you did me little Duddy skinny, I want to impress my boss kind of thing. Bow, 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 breaking the windows. That one last shot goes through the temple of the last police officer.
Oh, no.
Now, this
You're
is...
kidding me.
Seriously, now, this is crazy. You remember how I said that the sergeant head was crawling because he got shot in the lung and he's crawling and he made it in front of the car? So the driver, Detective Fox, just got shot in the temple and he is already in Ford. The transmission's already in Ford going. Forward
Forward
acceleration.
motion.
Yeah. So he gets shot in the temple, just like in the movies. His head hits the steering wheel, and then the foot presses the accelerator.
In that old 50s gangster car?
The old 50s gangster.
Shitting me?
And the only
They
cop
literally had
that
a scene
has
like
a
that in
chance.
Bonnie and Clyde.
The only cop that
Yes.
has a chance
Is Duddy.
because he's got a punctured lung, and
Oh, it's not Duddy. It's
Detective Head. He's got a
Yeah.
punctured lung, but he could survive. There's a
Oh,
lot of
but
people who
he
survive
was-
like that.
He was
Yeah,
perpendicular.
but
He was run over by the dead police officer.
Oh, I'll bet you that car was going. It wasn't exactly
And it wasn't
speeding. It was going slow.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't like and like a speed bump and then crash into the nearby building.
Yeah.
It was get over the hump, the dying body, if you will, get stuck. The car, the hood of the front of the car is buried into the cement, the gravel.
Cement.
The back of the car, the wheels are
Cement.
spinning.
I understand
Still.
that word because we speak the same language.
You are the
cement.
southern kind.
Well,
Cement.
the
Cement pond.
It's bull, oil, cement.
Yeah.
It's
And I'm
simple.
putting that on there.
Cement pond.
I'm just saying.
So the car is
It
literally
buries the cement.
at
and,
a foot,
and
yeah.
it goes.
At like a 45-degree angle. The wheels, the back wheels are still spinning because remember, his foot is now even more pressed on the accelerator.
Yeah.
So that dying cop has been pinned under the entire, and these are big-ass cars.
Yeah,
You saw
is
that car. That is a
all
heavy-ass
Detroit
car.
steel right there.
So
dude.
it's like, the wheels are spinning like crazy, and he's just dying under this car.
Oh.
All 3 cops that day died in the most horrific event that Britain has ever seen,
For
even
a
to this day.
routine traffic stop.
I mean,
That's crazy.
Seriously, it's a routine traffic stop. If he would have looked at the registration, insurance.
So these are the quotes from the killers.
I honestly did not shoot the coppers, Governor. I know you must have found out a whole lot, and I will tell you the truth. I saw the second officer stumble and fall to the ground, and Roberts fired again. I don't know how many times. The third officer in the car tried to pull away, but Dottie raced alongside and shot through the window of the car. They then raced back to the car, jumped in, and said to me, "Drive." I said, "You must be beep party." Roberts said, "Drive on, unless you want some of the same."
10-year-old boy who was actually walking with his sisters down Braybrook Street, exactly where this crime took place. And this is actually kind of interesting because he thought in his mind that it was a movie taking place. I mean, because it's like cops and robbers. And that's another thing. Do you remember when I said the second detective, when he came over to the car and he just saw his fellow officer get shot in the face, and then that detective who was coming near the car actually turns around away from the violence? Remember I said that? Away from the violence? It's so surreal when you see a murder take place or when you see a horrific event. Being like a combat veteran, I've seen like those types of events where you don't actually think it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't fit into normal reality. And a lot of these cases we do is like that. It's so shocking. It's your brain just associates it with being unreal. And I believe that's what it is here. Of course, he's 10 years old, so he wouldn't really have too much experience anyway. But the kid actually pushes his sisters out the way. Like they were all walking down the street, and he sees this, what he thought was a film taking place, cameras and everything, even though he didn't see the cameras, obviously, because there was none there. He runs up and grabs his two sisters and is like, get out of the way of the shot, because back then when they didn't have digital cameras or whatever, however they make movies nowadays, you could only get a couple chances maybe to do a shot. So he was trying to pull his sisters away from the camera view. That's how crazy this was. And like I said, it was all under 30 seconds. Anyway, this kid says, quote, a bloke, which, man, I love that word. A bloke got out of the van and started shooting. The policeman started running back to the car, shouting, no, no, no. A chap in a blue suit who got out of the van shouted, come on! And a man in a white jacket got out of the van and they both started shooting at the police car. Quote, I thought it was acting even when the shots were fired. Pretty crazy. So let's talk a little bit about how these people know each other. Now, these aren't like Bonnie and Clyde infamous criminals. It is interesting to point out, though, that Harry Roberts, the one that actually started the shooting, he became kind of infamous and almost a celebrity, which is kind of sickening. I mean, the same thing with Bonnie and Clyde, but he was on the loose for 96 days. Now, they met a few years earlier. This is from The Guardian London, November 15th, 1966. The Attorney General said that the three men had associated on and off for about 2 years. A Mrs. Perry, which was the girlfriend of Harry Roberts, would say that she had been with Roberts in London when he bought 3 pistol-type guns, and she had seen Whitney and Duddy with the guns. A Miss Howard would say Roberts had come to her flat in London. She had seen ammunition in the flat. I love, man, freaking London. She had seen ammunition in the flat and all 3 men with loaded guns. All right. So basically what happens, the murder takes place. They all flee. Now, Harry Roberts' mother did put out a plea for her son to turn himself in.
I ask you from the bottom of my heart to come into the open and give yourself up. If you make an appointment with me, I will come with you. The whole thing is killing me. Please do as I ask you before there's any more bloodshed.
Now, however, what you heard, he didn't hear because he was actually in the woods, he was a woodsman. You remember, I brought it up very briefly, but he served a little bit of time in the Army. So he actually was able to maintain his sovereignty in the woods, eating whatever, snakes, bugs, squirrels, whatever they got in London that we don't have over here. And he actually evaded police for 96 days doing this until they finally found his campsite. Now, here's a headline from an article where they actually found the fugitive of 96 days, Harry Roberts. It says, prints, like fingerprints, on a whiskey bottle in tent, clue to Roberts. So what had happened was a local farmer saw a tent, like a makeshift tent, which was Harry Roberts, on his property, but kind of, hidden a little bit. But it wasn't concealed well enough, and he actually spotted it. And that's kind of how this whole thing got brought down for Harry Roberts. Because the other two fugitives were apprehended rather quickly. They were actually both trying to flee the country. They were apprehended super quick. Lastly, what I want to go over is Harry Roberts right now, because in 2014, November 11th, after serving 48 years in prison from when he got captured on November 15th, 1966. So yeah, right at 48 years, he was released, but he did serve his time, of what he was given. But anyway, this article from the Telegraph, the headline reads, "Cop killer Harry Roberts could be returned to prison over claims he is cashing in on his crimes." So I'll link that article. He's basically trying to make movies and books about this. I think it's sick, man. I mean, you kill 3 cops and anyway, I'm going to put all these sources on talkmurder.com. So if you want to see all the videos and the gangster cars and all that stuff, be sure to go there. Also, I want to say I really appreciate you guys. You guys are really awesome, seriously. All the support. We're about to hit our 100th episode. We're doing live shows. I mean, from my perspective, and I'm being completely honest right now, from my perspective in doing this, being a combat veteran and suffering with all this PTSD and stuff like that, which I'm now becoming more open about, this and finding this creative outlet of a podcast, and then not only that, but getting so much support and so much love from you guys. I'm living a dream right now that I would never thought. I mean, this is not something that would ever happen to anyone like me, and it's just I'm so appreciative of you guys.
So I had this idea. The first podcast I heard from you guys, it was about egg gains and this wild 1920s, Buffalo Bill farmer out in Kansas. It was some crazy shit. So imagine, I was telling them, you're bottling liquor, you're having a good morning, drinking coffee, bottling liquor, and all of a sudden you hear about some guy preserving labias. And it just throws off your
we
fucking
have the
day.
same reaction to our Savannah brewery.
Yeah.
I'm glad to not go to your website and look at this.
Well, dude, you should. Bro. I can show you.
Do not put it on the big screen. Leave the screen alone.
I actually found the whole suit.
There is no screen.
And the nipple belt.
There is no screen. Say it with me.
Okay, fuck you, Santa.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Santa.
Come on, say no.
Ready?
Don't cover your ears.
Fuck
you have me on
Santa.
radio.
What story am I going to say?
Shit. Are we going to England tonight?
Yes, we are.
Yes! I'm so excited.
The pond.
Yeah, across the pond.
Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to Charlotte and our new friend Warren.
For whatever reason.
Your mind will be changed.
Stop.
Yeah.
It's kind of like saying this. You only know what you like until you've tried something better.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll try something better.
Try something
I don't want to try
and
anything
at least
else.
experience new things. Or stay in your shell.
Like anal sex.
I think
Yeah.
that's not something we
Good night,
do for the
everyone. Thanks for
listeners.
listening to Talk Murder to Me. We've had a great show tonight.